This is the video portion of the inspection. This is why I take a look at the inner walls of the chimney, otherwise known as the flue. This is looking at it from the top. As we come down, we'll see a clay liner system. The chimney will move when I push on it. It will move in a manner that is most of the time indicative of damage. Sometimes I'm able to see it through inside the system, through the tiles. Actually, not very often, once in a while. And sometimes I'm able to see it at the exterior, but when you have something like this that's painted, it's a little hard for me to really see what's going on in the exterior. The only evidence I really truly have of instability of the structure is the movement. It didn't move when it was installed. One could argue damage or not. We do have missing grout between flue tiles and cracking between surface and some of the flue tiles. I've taken some pictures of it on my way up. I'm not going to try to find those areas in this case, although there's one right here. This right here very well could be damaged, but it also may not be. When you're looking at an area between the tiles, any number of anomalies can show up. It is my opinion that this chimney is damaged, and for my recommendation is going to be removable. When we look at stabilizing the chimney, and then if it's already predisposed to movement, the fire safety repair should be a liner, stainless steel liner. When you look at the cost of that, you really could be in a, especially when you get engineering involved, you really could be a $6,000 or $7,000 cost at that point to do it right. When you look at rebuilding the chimney at about $11,000 cost, it seems a little silly to me to put $6,000 or $7,000 into it when the evidence of this being damaged, in my opinion, is pretty clear from the movement. So, hence that would be my recommendation. Can I make somebody do it? No. Am I here to judge anyone? No. But I do think that's the best in this particular case. This is our smoke chamber area. Now, what we also have is a masonry fireplace system that has actually been modified from its original configuration. I personally don't think it's a real big deal, but what's been done is this right here used to be thicker, and there used to be a metal lintel here. That's actually a requirement. Now, that metal lintel isn't really technically structural. The structural aspect of the system is the right and left side walls. The front and back is usually not considered structural, so not having a lintel, I don't see how that's really a structural negative, but technically it's really supposed to be there. You can see how something's chipped away. And it used to be more forward, the masonry of at least the fireplace part projected further out by several inches. Chances are there was a brick design all the way around this, and that was removed, and then this was put here instead. Not here to make some big deal out of it, but the configuration of the system has been modified. It used to be lower too. So you can see the damper handle here, generally that's going to be higher. So to account for the thickness, it projected out to here, and that was probably the bottom of it. There we go. That was probably the bottom of it. So it affects the dynamics of the system. Not horrendously, but it does. You can see the box is also fairly shallow. So with that, I mean, I doubt on my particular house, I wouldn't be bringing this back up to the original specifications. But when all's said and done, you got to be prepared for the fact that drafting could be an issue. I kind of doubt it here, but it is possible. So you may have to actually lower the opening with a smoke guard or something to actually account for the drafting and bring it back to its original height. Bringing it back to its original depth would be nice too, but again, I wouldn't go through that expense myself. Now, the gas log set is, let's just be realistic here. It's Mickey Mouse at best. I mean, we have this silly little valve here. We have this component here and this here. This was a homemade job. I also didn't get any gas out of it. So I'm going to talk about basically taking this right here off, this nut. This is the gas line penetration. Taking this nut off, and then from this point, actually, taking this off too, this right here. And then from this point all the way in there, taking that and throwing it in the garbage can. And then at that point, decide if you want a gas log set in here, you want a gas appliance, or do you want to wood burning or solid fuel. And then from there, decide what to put in here and put something that's actually listed and installed in an actual appropriate manner. Again, this is, I mean, Mickey Mouse is all over this, and I'm not going to beat around the bush on that. That being said, if you put a gas lock set back in, you should have a damper that's locked in the fully closed, open position. In other words, there should be some sort of a clamp on here that does not allow this damper to close at all. I say it in that manner because that's generally what needs to be done, but actually the code talks about it a little differently. The code actually specifically talks about BTU ratings, etc., of the actual appliance put in there. Well, unless you're a rocket scientist, you're not going to be able to calculate the opening that is required here to allow the BTU exhaust to escape. So just lock it in the fully open position. And most gas appliances will also talk about locking in the fully open position as well. So hence I just cut to the chase and tell you what to do exactly, because that's really what generally is going to be done. With all that, you should have a screen over the opening. That leaf type metal design doesn't qualify as a screen. Ensure you review my written report for my findings and recommendations.